It's the Podfix Network.
Hello everyone. Welcome to this very special edition of the Filmmakers Podcast. It is a bonus episode for you. We were going to put this on our Patreon. This was going to be a special for those Patreon listeners, our subscribers of our Patreon. But it was kind of a really cool chat myself and Phil did. And we thought, why don't we put this out as a little teaser for those of you who might be thinking about joining our Patreon but weren't sure? Well, this is a perfect example of what we do on our Patreon, and there'll be more of this. There is so much bonus content on there, it's crazy. So for those of you who don't know, Patreon is our special place. It is our junkyard of gold, where all the wonderful little tidbits that we take out of the episode, some wonderful little stories that may be too long because we like to keep it around an hour, we try, and this is where we put them. The wonderful Toby and Huw put these together and they form our Patreon episodes, and they're all bonus, and there's so much great stuff on there. Like recent episode with Peter Pock, there is more about how he made X and the look of it. So for example, the wonderful Chloe Chudasama and Leroy Kincaid, they have bonus. They chat more about The Last Rite. There is more on there about them describing how they made their film. There is more from the Shakespeare sisters delving in to how they made two indie films back to back when they hadn't really done it before. And there's loads more from Steve and Tracy Jarvis, who dive into the whole filmmaking process, how they raise money, how they do it. But there is more from me on there as well, more about my journey, my process, about what I'm going through. I've got chats coming up with the DOP Andy Roger, as well as this one with Phil Hawkins. But there's so much more on our bonus episodes. On the Patreon site, there is membership levels. So I'm going to rattle through these really quickly, so don't press skip, just listen in for me. Plus, by the time you press skip forward, and then you've got to skip back a little bit, and then skip forward again, you've missed bits, you might as well just listen. There's a supporter level, which is just £2, just to say thank you. Thank you for what you do. And with that £2 a month, you get 5% discount on the Filmmakers Podcast merchandise, and obviously our unending gratitude for your support. Now, the second tier is a £4 a month, where you get ad-free episodes plus the weekly bonus episodes I've been talking about, and 10% off on all merchandise. Then there's the producer level, which is £7, and that you get all the benefits of the other tiers, plus you get other exclusive access as well. Then there is the final tier, where you get to make suggestions. It's the suggestion box tier, and you get our personal thanks by name, so your name at the start of every podcast, plus 20% off all Filmmakers Podcast merchandise, all the rest of the other membership levels as well. And if you're not going to do any of those things, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. There's no pressure. It's just we really appreciate it. And we thought you might want to hear them because there's some cool stuff on there. But the reason why we wanted to drive you there a little bit was because we wanted to create more of a hub, a community where we can all hang out and chat more. So any money that we do make from this goes straight back into the production of this podcast, and every little helps because it takes quite a lot of our time doing this. And as you know, all our hosts are busy filmmakers, including myself. The more help we can get, we will take it. We appreciate it. So anyway, myself and the fantastic Phil Hawkins, who had a brilliant chat with the brilliant Peter Pock this week on this week's episode. Well, we thought, as we were doing the intro and we started chatting about what Phil's been up to, thought, well, this will make a great Patreon. And then, like I say, I thought, well, actually, why don't we put this out as a bonus episode this Friday? Let people know what's happening on our Patreon page. You can hear the kind of chats, the very relaxed, open chats about filmmaking on there. And it's just the hosts. Therefore, you get more of us. You get more insight about what we do. And we're quite open and honest as well. And sometimes our guests, as amazing as they are, they've got to hide a bit. It might be a PR company or they're promoting their films. It's not as easy. Whereas us, this is our baby. And we can say what we like. So this is myself and Phil Hawkins chatting about his latest film, A Prancer Tale, where he's just come back from Montreal from filming his first studio movie. And he tells you who the studio is, which is incredible and something he's dreamed about all his life, and who Universal is co-producing the film with. You get some insights here. There's some real deep dives. And what we're going to do for you as well is do a proper deep dive with Phil. Of course we are, when A Prancer Tale comes out. And this is myself, Giles Alderson, and Phil Hawkins, chatting filmmaking. Enjoy.
Recording.
I am recording too, and I'm recording on the clap in 3.
Recording.
1.
A frame out, I think.
Yeah.
I was a frame out.
Toby will work it out. And actually, it's funny having a delay anyway. It's like, yeah, there's a delay. There it is.
What?
What's happening?
Yeah, good. I'm good. I'm literally packing because I'm
Where are you going?
Montreal tomorrow.
What are you doing? Advert or
Post
in Montreal?
Yeah. So
how exciting!
Yeah, no. So yeah, they got to get the tax credit dollars everywhere, haven't they? You know,
it's like 45% in certain areas, right? In Canada,
something. Do you know what? I've not even had time to look, but it's good.
Yes.
It's very good, and
it's really fucking good.
There's a really good team out there who I've sort of yet to work with, apart from the editor and his team. But other than that,
you've waved from Zoom.
Highly regarded. Yeah. So so heading out there to do the final bit of the director's cut, and then show it to the producer the first time, and then the studio notes, and then the second studio notes.
Oh, it's frightening. How do you feel though about it?
I feel pretty good. I mean, the assembly didn't make me cry and question my life choices, so that's good.
That is good.
Which is that the equivalent of when you make a comedy and everyone laughs on set, and
yes,
then the movie's not funny? Like if the assembly's good, the movie's horrible. Maybe that's what it is.
No, I think you've tapered your expectations.
Yeah, because I was sort of in a bad mood,
right?
That day, because I knew I was going to watch it in the evening because I had the kids and stuff, and I needed it to be quiet and uninterrupted. And I sat there and was like, okay, cool. Yeah, it's good. It's long. It's too long. I don't like that. That. But it has heart. It has soul. It made me laugh. It's not a comedy, but it made me laugh in a good way.
Totally. For those that don't know, Phil has finished his latest feature film, which are we allowed to say what it's called? That's been on Instagram. A Prancer's Tale, right? Is that right?
A Prancer Tale.
Sorry, there's only one. There's not 2 prancers.
But the title might actually change, so I've no idea.
Oh,
I've no idea what it's going to be called. It could be called anything.
It's
not
Christmas.
Anything.
Working title.
It'll be something. If you see something this Christmas with the word Prancer in it, that's not the original from the late 80s, because this is a reboot, rehash, reimagining of a classic Christmas movie, which... I think more in the States, it's as a place very close to people's hearts. I mean, I remember watching it as a kid, so it's kind of funny making this kind of reimagining of it. But I mean, it's a very different story, but it's got Prancer in it. That's probably about the connection.
Did you watch that film in sort of just to get you in the mindset of your Prancer Tale? Oh yeah,
I watched it because when it first came along, I remembered it, and I sort of wrote down the things I remembered as a kid, because if you don't know, it's a family movie, it's a Christmas movie, it's coming out this Christmas.
Woohoo! How exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And so I was kind of like, what as a kid are the things I remembered? And I went back, and you watch it and you think, wow, that's only a tiny, tiny percentage of the movie, but that has resonated, for most kids or people watching it, the thing they remember is like the reindeer breaking into the kitchen and like eating the food. And there's this kind of some fun kind of slapstick-esque visual comedy with a guy, Sam Elliott, reading a newspaper, and he kind of puts it down and looks behind him. And so I remembered all that, but like the film's actually quite dark.
Man, what? Sam Elliott, the Sam Elliott. Like,
yes.
I don't want to do anything. Sam Elliott, that's Sam Elliott. Brilliant.
That's Sam Elliott.
But he wasn't in your movie. Was he in your movie?
No, and I'm not allowed to say who the cast is, but we've got a bit of a ledge in the lead role.
Oh, really? You've got actually Santa Claus?
He wasn't doing anything. January was as all freelancers. January was a slow month. So he's like, all right, I'll reprise my role again. You want to play a lot. How exciting. So
it's
good. I mean, it's everything that, people say you shouldn't make a movie about. Like it's the lead's a 10-year-old girl who's amazing. The other lead is, 80-plus-year-old man and some idiot, me. decided to not use CGI and do a real life reindeer, which you can't train.
No,
particularly.
Of course not. Yeah.
They're not dogs. And so you just have to be very patient and edit in your head as you go along and make stuff up.
So were you guessing like at moments when they turn their head and you go, I could put that in scene, or
yes.
Was it all that kind of just nicking moments that might be useful?
Yeah, definitely. And, always shooting 2 cameras and always shooting 30 frames a second just to extend that second just a bit longer.
Mm-hmm. How did you get kids and the reindeer in the same shots? How was that doable?
I did joke. I said to my number 1 and 2, I said, when you're on set, when the reindeer's on set, we have to add a 0 to your number on the call sheet because, the reindeer's going to be everything. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to direct our lovely child. And then if I get to you, Mr. Legendary actor,
that
you'll be lucky. So stand over there and do your job.
Hit your mark. Don't hit the furniture and be good Santa Claus.
No, they were great. And we had a wonderful animal trainer and actually, although you can't train them, you sort of can in terms of conditioning, and he built this amazing bond with this animal called Ellen, who was kind of pulled out of obscurity and
pulled out of Santa's workshop, I imagine.
Basically, yeah. And she was great.
How do you plan that then? How do you plan like a horse? You go, okay, well, this is the kind of shot I want, and maybe in some way reindeers might do what some horses do. How in this case did you plan? Did you over plan everything? Like you just said there, that's my hero. These are the shots I have to get. But how do you even plan for that? How do you even work out they should go here, especially if it's in the script, they nibble on a carrot at this point or whatever it is? It's like, yes, good luck with that.
Yeah. And I previs everything, and every single shot scene that had our reindeer in, I previs just to give us an idea of what I was after, because I like to meticulously plan and then get to set and go, right, well, that didn't work. But at least I had a plan, or actually to achieve this sequence, I actually got that piece, and that piece I can probably pick up when we do that thing. Or I've just shot, because I've previs everything, because I've just shot something else to the reindeer. Maybe it didn't do the thing I want to do in that scene, but actually that's going to work for this other scene. So you're constantly, in a state of flux. Yeah, you're constantly editing, watching. And then sometimes happy accidents happen and you just think, well, nobody move the camera, lock it off, let's pull her out, let's shoot a plate, and then let's go around, so you're a bit of Fincher kind of style, like you're piecing shots
Star
together.
Wars style, cutting them
to make it work, and or you'll bring someone in, or you're trying to shoot plates, because our lovely visual effects guys and ladies were. I think originally they read the script and we're just going to do all CG, and I was like, no. Even if no disrespect, even if you are ILM,
yes,
and we had all the money and time in the world, it still looks like a CGI animal.
Yes.
So I'm trying to go back to the kind of old school way of filmmaking is like, what would Spielberg have done?
Right. Aim for the top. What would Spielberg have done? What would Lucas have done? Yeah.
We had a puppet head that we used. We had lots of tips and tricks to kind of do it, because and then it has a real charm to it. It feels very real. And then the pain is in the editing of going, what frame is too many frames too far that takes it away from being a character versus a wild animal, you know, and you're constantly trying to look for those moments.
Yes.
In like, she looks too much like an animal that's sat there eating, and now she looks majestic and beautiful and exactly what we need. So it's setting the stage, for that. And it's lens choices, it's kind of atmosphere, it's, angles and stuff.
Did you have some punch the air moments where the animal did exactly, nailed something?
And more.
Really?
There's a shot where...
Wow.
We were tracking along a street, a very, very long track. It was always like, I don't really know what we're going to get, but if we get it, it'll be great. And then our grip was just on it, and we tracked along with our deer, and then she started running, and I've never seen her run before. And it was, and we kept up with it, tracking alongside. And it was, everyone looked at each other and went, oh my God, that was beautiful.
Wow.
And there was lighting cues on it. Like, it was the impossible shot. It was like the shot, I thought I might get a couple of seconds off. It was a beautiful shot. To the point where you're like, okay, I'm going to have to make that work in the edit now, because in the other shots, she's not running. So, but it's worth the pain. So I think we've managed to make it work. But,
I imagine you're mixing CG a little bit as well with the live action, right?
We are using bits and bobs because there's some things which, an animal reindeer couldn't do.
Like fly.
We tried, but
I imagine fly
on
now.
The final day.
This is the moment where you're going to fly. Okay, what was Ellen? Ellen, you're going to fly
Ellen
now.
and fly. Great. And you're just looking at the handler.
We're keeping rolling. We'll just roll until he flies.
yeah. We're using it sensibly, but again, you sort of establish a rule book of right. We're only ever going to use CG when she's X percentage in the frame and she's backlit and more silhouetted and more mysterious and more kind of stuff. And then all the big close-ups and more personal stuff and the interaction is obviously real or kind of puppet. So, and there's times where you're like, oh, we could just do this CG. I'm like, no, we're too tight. It's a mid. We're not going to do it as a mid. We're going to be here until we get this.
Are you glad you have stuck to your guns now?
Yeah. I mean, you see the movie now and like, again, the kind of first assembly we saw, we didn't really establish, or I didn't have a lot of time with our editor because of shooting to establish the rules of what I believe makes her a character versus a wild animal.
Yeah.
And actually it's about stillness and it's about decisiveness of movement. And that might just be her turning to a handler, but that moment, that turn cut with another turn makes her feel like she was doing that thing. And as once we established those rules, the rushes went from hours to hardly anything, but the hardly anything is the gold.
Did you just turn, like I say, was there a lot of footage where you went and time put in the schedule for you to shoot animal stuff? Was it kind of like you say, that running shot you got magical, but then other moments you're just sitting there going, oh, please do something.
And that's the pain, right? Of like you're always running out of time. Like, it's a studio movie, we had a decent budget, but it's not, we're still having to shoot a decent amount of pages a day. And we were in the mountains and in snow and, like the elements, and you're waiting for the moment. You're shooting and everyone, you're rolling two cameras on this animal, and your actors, you're constantly saying, and reset. And reset, and so they're backing off a step and stepping forward, and you become attuned with Ellen about, right, usually I think this is what she might do. So if I can cue the actors at the right time, then maybe I'll get that moment. And you just have to be very, very patient. But when time's against you, you just have to be the cool-headed one and know when you've got it.
Yeah.
But then when you've got it, there's always that temptation of like, oh, that was too easy.
Yeah.
What?
We should go again.
What else is she going to do?
Yeah, was the focus okay? Should we just go again? Yeah. But then you get into that whole hole where the next take's not good enough. So you go again, and then you go again. And suddenly you're 10 takes down. You're like, we should have stopped.
And it did happen. Especially when you get tired and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of elements and you're chasing the impossible, Yeah.
How many weeks was the shoot? How many weeks in total?
It was 32 days.
So what, 5 and a bit, 6? Was it 5-day weeks?
The revelation for me was working 10 hours continuous days.
Yes, right? Yeah, we're doing it on the one coming up. And we've done it on 3-day. It's actually amazing.
It is amazing. That hour, like when they first pitched it, because I usually like the hour to kind of
you need an hour.
Reset.
Recalibrate everything in lunchtime. Yeah.
And you think about, but I hate the fact that it's not an hour, it's an hour when you get there and it's half an hour after.
And everyone's tired after. So people who don't know, normally 12-hour day is what happens in the UK. And then you'll have an hour for lunch, which is included in the 12-hour day. So you'll film for 11 hours. Now, a 10-hour rolling lunch or a 10.5 hour, depending on what you're getting. And the same can be 11-hour rolling day. You can, back to rules, you can do all of them. It's up to you in your production. You just stick to the rule, or you can change it halfway through. And this one if you've got a lot to shoot and you've got light, like say you start at 7, but it's getting dark by 5, well, you might as well do a rolling lunch.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference, doesn't it? There's not that lull after lunch where everyone's tired.
No, and people pick up and grab, because there's always opportunity for different departments to have food and obviously everyone's still well fed and catered, and like COVID as well, like you can't really all sit together anyway, and
Absolutely,
very strict for that. So it actually helps that. And also, I've got a 10-hour day, which is like get in, get out. There's no like, oh, we're wrapped. Oh, now we get out. Like it's 10 hours exactly,
including the wrap time.
Plus my my young leader can only have used for 5 hours.
Of course, yeah. You can only use her for, how old was she?
She was 10.
Yeah, you can only have her for a certain amount of time.
Yes.
With young children, you've got, I think it's 5. Like you said, 5 hours on set.
We worked for 5 hours, but she was obviously going to school as well. And then, had the elements and the weather and the mountains and it was just
amazing, Phil. It was amazing. It's what you live for.
No, mate. It's wonderful. I mean, I feel like I only got the job because everyone else turned it down. Because like, no, I'm not,
that's just not true.
Doing this movie.
This is too hard in the snow.
I can't wait. At some point in Montreal in the next few weeks, I'm going to be able to watch the film with that Universal logo at the start of it. And I think I'm just going to.
My God.
I might just cry.
I think you should. Film it, please.
Cry. I think I will.
In a good way, because what an amazing achievement, right? It's something we all dream about, whether it's you know what I mean? Or whatever it is coming forward is
Universal for me though, is because of Spielberg and because of the movies growing up, like this is a very universal movie in terms of, well, both. For all audiences, but also for that studio, it's got that kind of universal feel to it.
So it means that I can enjoy this and more than a 10-year-old child, right? Yes. And I will. I actually can't wait.
You got to have light and dark, haven't you? You got to have what Pixar do wonderfully. Is like you've got to have the fun, the hijinks, the comedy, and stuff for the kids, and then
the dark dick jokes for the dads.
Basically. So hopefully it's got something, everyone, which I say with pride as opposed to diluting the audience, because people say, oh, you shouldn't say that. Who is it really for? It's like, no, it's for everyone. It's a magical reindeer movie, for God's sake.
Of course it's for everyone. Who isn't going to like it? So what's the plan? What do you know at this? Is it going straight to streaming? Do you know? Are you trying to push for cinema? Do you know at this stage, or is it too early?
What I do know, I probably don't know enough of, and I can't say because I don't know dates or anything yet. But it should be pretty exciting, and it's a Sky Cinema and Universal co-production. So
excellent.
They love a good Christmas movie. Sky does. So let's see.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. I'll be picking your brains because we're making our Christmas movie at Christmas in January. So I'll be picking your brains about that. But obviously we're shooting in the UK and it's a very different type of movie. It's not aimed at, Universal, as is aimed specifically at an older generation.
And this is the next Shush Films production.
It is. Cool. It's just sort of been semi-announced, but we'll announce it properly in Cannes because we're going there to sell 3-Day Millionaire and to pitch. It's called Aubrey Flint's Christmas at the moment, but I imagine that will change at some point, like your title might change. Hey, it's working title. But yeah, that's what our big Cannes trip. We booked it already and it's super exciting. I've also got 2 films that are in the actual market itself. We're not selling it, but I've got my Wolves of War will be in the market, which is sold in pretty much every territory anyway, so there's only a few left, but it will be there as one of Signature's films. And also The Stranger in Our Bed has just got its release dates. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it yet. It's summertime. I can say that.
Is it June 1st?
It's
June
not.
2nd?
No.
June 3rd?
It's not.
June 4th?
No.
June 5th?
Getting warmer.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, go on! It's nearly my birthday. I'm nearly at my birthday. Yeah! But yeah, so that's super exciting. So it means that, and what's good about Cannes and what's really worth going for is not only if you're selling a movie that's finished, or at least you've got trailers for, which I've got for 3-Day Millionaire and for Food for Thought, the documentary as well, which is great because we're now really pushing on getting that finished. So casting wise of the 10-year-old girl, I think it'd be really interesting in your movie how you cast, because it sounds like you're very happy with her, because I love casting kids. I think it's really important. There's a trick to it in some way. You've done it many times in all the adverts. How did you find it here over a longer period of 90-minute feature film? They've got to deliver heart warmth as well as speak well.
I think the thing is obviously casting kids in commercials and shorts and stuff is very different to obviously feature films, but there's more of an unknown obviously in feature films, because in commercials and things you can have them in the room, you can see how they respond to you, how they can hit the beats or or have the potential or the range to hit the kind of the beats or the moments that you need to tell that tiny bit of story. But in a feature film, has a whole lot bigger, because usually they've not done a feature, like it's about stamina, it's about kind of nurturing that performance, it's about kind of it's you feel
very parental, right?
Yes, 100%. It's a parental responsibility for your lead, and to the point that we'll be friends forever. I joked. It's true. We'll be friends forever until I'm not cool enough to be a friend when she's older. She's
it's so true. It's happened with my kids on the dare. You know what I mean? Yes. It's like if I saw any of them, it's like big hug, and you know what I mean. You're amazing, and thank you so much for all the work you did. You know what I mean? And I was only with them for a short period of time, apart from Mitch, who was in most of the movie, but for you, she's your lead, so I mean she must miss you. She
is basically in almost every frame of the movie pretty much, and that's a lot on a 10-year-old's shoulders, and especially a 10-year-old that is basically got the brain of like a 20-year-old, so understood the weight of it.
Yes, you cast someone amazing,
and understood the pressure of it. It's not like she came to play every day, which she did. She's still 10, but she understood the weight of responsibility with all these hundreds of people and all these departments and all this stuff to do her job. And that was, there's directing about the directing on set, but then there's a directing behind the scenes of being there for someone. And she wasn't the only young performer. I had a bunch of other young performers in the film, from like day players, which are the hardest, to some supporting roles who were amazing. I was very blessed, the cast that we ended up with. But our lead, which I wish I could say her name because she's amazing, but I'm not going to say it because so no one steals her. No.
It's too late, Phil. She's moved on.
About cast. I'm not talking about cast. Don't move on. It was. She made everything. Two things. She made my job just amazingly easier. It just made me look great because she was already brilliant. But it was also brilliant. We had a 21-year-old photo double as her stand-in. 21. She was the exact height. She was the exact build. Like even on wides, I could use her on stuff and in the frame. I was like, oh my god, because I was thinking like, sometimes you have to switch it on, for your young performers, which means every day it's switched on.
You're on. Yeah.
Then I've got to switch on again for like the double. Like it's like, oh my god, it's gonna be exhausting. But then this 20-year-old like puts out a cigarette and walks on the set dressed as it's just like, oh my god. It's amazing.
That's amazing. Like Lord of the Rings, I'm imagining here. You know what I mean? These amazing.
Catalina, she didn't smoke. I apologize.
But that is funny though. The image you gave us was great. That's funny. The whiskey shaking in her hand.
It was the baby in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. At the start. Just like,
How did you find? How did you know she was going to be that receptible? How did you know she could lead? What was it about her in the casting that you saw? Do you think, or was it you were hoping?
I mean, a lot of it is a wing and a prayer, isn't it? I mean, you don't know what anyone's going to be. Even adults don't know what anyone's going to be like. Day 22 of quite a tough shoot.
We've been there.
So there's a big emotional scene in the film.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And I'm not. I won't go into why and whatever. But it's full on. And it's easy. The writers go, and then she breaks down or whatever, and you're like,
it's easy to write that.
And you can see it, like, oh my god, it's going to become like a cheesy, like the fake kid acting,
and the fake crying on anyone is horrible, isn't it? So no, just cry, don't.
And it's like, how are we going to engage, and create that? And actually, it was the scene I was most anxious about doing because I wanted her to be great, and I wanted it to be great. I wanted her to be great, and we were doing it as late on in the schedule as we could, but we were basically knocking down this set like week 2, so it had to be week 2.
But then that as well, that the pressure's building because someone will probably keep saying to her, that scene's coming up, or get ready for that scene, and it's probably not you, it's other people.
And also there's no dialogue in it, there's just stage direction, like there's so there's nothing really she can prepare. and it's one of those scenes where you're like, okay, this is all on direction and performance and setting that stage. So in the audition, you try and do it, you try and get there, and it's kind of most of the time it's awful because you don't really have a bond. If you get something, it's artificial. And she came in and said, "Hi Phil, nice to meet you." She'd already done self tapes and things, and had a chat with her, and she said, "I can't cry. I find it really difficult, and I'm worried about it." And I was like,
"Wow,
okay, wow,
okay." And just said it. I love her already.
In the audition, the confidence and everything, and she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I just said to her, "Thank you so much for telling me that, because now I know how I can help you. Yes. If you're just coming here to try and please me and to cry, it's going to fail, because I'm not after tears." Like, I'm not after that. It's about this. And also, I think she'd read the whole script by then. I think she had. So you could get into it, but it's still not like in the DNA. It's not as if you've been out there, lived it, done some long days. You've got stuff you can hang a hat on, and things when you're actually shooting. And it just made me instantly like her. Like, she was fully aware of, firstly, her own standards. Like, she wanted to do it.
Her own flaws. In her acting. I love it. Good for her.
Can you imagine actors coming, like older actors going, I'm really nervous about this. You'd just be like, it's so disarming, isn't it? As a director, you go, well, great.
It's wonderful. And actors often don't do it. They're so worried about showing their weaknesses and stuff. But actually, us as directors go, thank you. Okay, I know where you're at now. Now we don't have to do this whole bullshit game.
Yes.
And we can now just go, great. Okay, here's how I think you should. How about this? What can we tap into?
And it gives you the opportunity to be like, because I said to her, we got into a conversation. This is kind of more as we got into the shooting of it on set. But it was like, well, what is crying? Like, when do you ever like shed that perfect tear? Like, is it angry? Is it coming from anger? Is it coming from this? Where do we think she's coming from?
Yeah.
And we hit on the fact that it was from betrayal. That's why she was crying. It's about anger. It's not about just she cries. Like, I don't effing care if you cry. Like, I see tears. What I want you to do is to figure out and understand why this scene exists in the story and why she's got to this point, and then let it rip, let it go.
Just feel it. Be there in the moment.
It's a truly wonderful performance.
Really?
Man. It's like, but it took a lot of, it was interesting because I've been that day I had to pretend, I had to set the tone to kind of, because we've been very close, had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and we've been shooting some funny big kind of scenes and all that stuff like this. And so that's the day that I had to kind of get mega serious and kind of be tough with permission. I had to explain to my first, I had to explain to her mom, I had to explain, like, I had to set the stage for her, like, so our mom would be like, I think Phil's like in a really bad mood today. Like, I don't understand. I think something's happened. And then because she cares about me, she's like, oh, what? Wonder what's wrong. And then she'd see me, and instead of me being, hey, Dad, I always said no then, hey, like, hey, I was a bit like, I'll speak to you in a bit. And it was so hard.
Oh my God. You're acting.
Because you're acting, and you're acting for her.
And you don't want to do that.
No. It was, when we eventually got to it, like, obviously with permission of her mom, and I was like, how do you think we're gonna get access that place we need to be? And it was, and I don't want to kind of betray the confidences of how we did it, because it's a personal thing. But like, and with any actor, young or old, like, you access certain things, you talk about certain things, or you use certain things to help actors get to the places they need to be. But obviously with a child, it's harder, because you have to kind of push them to this brink and then be responsible enough to the story. Like, yes, I may have, because the hardest thing was not only being hard on her and getting this thing, like knowing take one that she nailed it, but knowing she had to re-access it for a different setup for the story. I need to get a thing. So I couldn't let it go.
Right.
I couldn't be like...
So you couldn't then jump out of what you were doing.
I couldn't be like, you're amazing. I was like, okay, well, I think we got enough. Like, and it was so hard to like...
God! I feel for you. Because you're like going, oh my God, she nailed that, but I can't tell her.
I was there. And then, and then obviously, we I came out and I just smiled and was teary and gave her a massive hug. And then, 17 COVID supervisors are like, no, what are you doing?
And you're like, fuck off.
I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah. This is our moment.
And then, then it's the kind of, the curtain is opened
back.
And
it was like, I did it because, and she goes,
yes.
oh my God.
Yeah, and she knew, but like she also was I feel like if she wasn't a little bit unsettled in terms of how our relationship was, I don't think it would let her get to the place she needed to be.
Yeah, that's good. She'll never trust you again, but that doesn't matter. You got your performance. No, I'm joking.
Of course she won't. But then we could talk about it. Then we could access it. And she was so proud of herself. She was so proud of. And we did all sorts of stuff. Like we must have signed, and it was very close set, and and so all this.
I love that. Well done, man. That sounds so amazing.
The crew were outside, and we were doing all sorts of like exercises and stuff, to kind of get her into that zone. Thinking people thought I must have been, I don't know, must have been lunatics.
What's Phil doing today? This is the day she needs
this is it.
But then you were doing your thing, and then afterwards, who cares? You do your thing. You need to get by. I remember on the Dare with Mitch, and I think he was 11 at the time. It might be 10 or 11, and he had to cry, and he had to do this moment where he's fully breaking down. And I said, look, how? He said, no, I can cry on cue. And I went, really? You went, yeah. I tap into my granddad, and his passing, and I can cry on cue. I said, are you sure? Because I'm going to turn over on this and just see what happens. Let's see, and we talked about it through, and we got him in the zone. And then this moment when I'm just turning on it, and I didn't tell him I was turning. I did that whole thing where I was like, I'm not going to tell him I'm turning, and then turned over. And just said to him, hey, look, listen, you get into your zone now. Don't worry about it. You find your thing. And obviously everyone's quite quiet anyway. I said, quiet for him, quiet because he's having his moment. And as he was having this moment, and I just saw this fantastically just built up to this. And as the tear rolled down his face into this perfect moment, he turned to me and he went, I'm ready to turn over now. No, we had this amazing moment, and he just kind of ruined it himself by saying, I'm ready.
Yeah.
He didn't know we were turning.
Yeah.
And it was just that fantastic. Well, I kept it in and I just cut just before because it was so good. The build up to him, the pain, the fear that he was going through.
I think I remember the exact shit you're talking about.
Yeah, you do, the one was chained up in the basement. Really cool. I think.
There you go. There's your masterclass of kids animal acting. Yeah. There you go. Done.
But let's come back to this, me and you, tease our listeners and me with what you might tell us about that is going to be super exciting.
Yeah, I'll talk about blocking one-ers, like big group scenes and the way to kind of keep interiors interesting. We'll talk about working with Hollywood legends when they look you in the eye and ask you the question you never want to hear, and then having the split second of like, if I mess this up, this is going to be a win or a fail. I'm happy to be quite open and sort of honest about the process of making, my first studio movie, basically. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Excellent. Right. Basically, this is a little tester now. It's been proven for our Patreon episodes. The link to that is in the show notes, but do come and join us there. It helps the podcast. It helps us grow. And it means you get more insights like this that we don't often do on the pod when it's us hosts talking about how we make our movies, which is even more insightful and interesting just because we can let loose. We can be a bit more honest. Click the link. We'll see you on Tuesday as always. Thank you, Phil.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you Tuesday. Make your movies. Go do it. Go work with reindeer.
Or not.
Or not.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.